Good morning, guys, and welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, listen, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna show you an article here, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. Let's get the chart started right here and take a look at this. 2019 cryptocurrency market to see considerable expansion. Yes, I agree with this. I think we're going to see considerable expansion in 2019. But we're still stuck in this bear market. Let's just read a little bit of it first. Let me focus in on a little bit so you can see a little bit better the article. The 2019 cryptocurrency market will see significant growth due to the backing of institutional investors, according to the CEO of the leading financial advisory organization. Nigel Green, founder and CEO of DeVere Group, argues that the weak cryptocurrency market of 2018 is now behind us, pointing to the growth of several key cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, over the past few days. The bearish sentiment of the last quarter is now, I believe, behind us, he said. Well, I'll tell you what. This is the one point I disagree with him on. I think that the bearish sentiment that's out there is not behind us yet. He thinks it's behind us. I don't. I think we're still going to put in a new low. I think it's going to break down just below the $3,000 range. Probably $2,900, $2,800 before we finally see the end of this bear market. And also, there's an awful lot of institutional investors that are ready to come on board, but Bitcoin's not quite there yet. Different things like backed is not quite got the regulatory approvals that they need yet. They don't have an exchange traded fund yet. These things are in the works, and a lot of these things are needed before institutional investors are actually ready to money managers are actually ready to come into this space. So it says institutional investment here will drive 2019's cryptocurrency market growth. It says for Green, 2019 is the year that the cryptocurrency market will be embraced by large-scale institutions. Well, you know what? I happen to agree with him, but I don't think it's going to be in the first quarter of 2019. I don't really think it's going to even be in the second quarter of 2019. I think it's going to be in the third and fourth quarter of 2019 before we're going to start to see a head change in cryptocurrency. In other words, right now, everybody's bearish on this. The market's been turning down for quite a while now, and everything's cooled off to the point where a lot of people just don't want to mess with it. I'm going to tell you what. Not just Bitcoin, but in many different asset classes, that's the time when you want to purchase them. But you know how most people actually function is they like to buy something when it's hot. When it's a hot commodity, everybody wants it, that's when they want to buy it. So typically, when the average Joe buys something, it's when it's near its peak. It's in a bubble. That's when he's buying it. And then what he does is the average Joe, when the bubble bursts, then he gets discouraged and he sells after the bubble bursts, and he takes a big loss. The smart investor, what they do is they look for something, a commodity that's down near its bottom. Nobody wants it. Sentiment is bad. Everybody's saying, don't buy that. They're in there stealthily picking some up and buying it, right? Then what they do, the smart investor is, they sell when it does go into a bubble and everybody else wants it. That's when they're selling it, right? That's what the smart investor does. Now, cryptocurrency, you got a lot of people that bought in when it was up 12,000, 14,000, 18,000. They're in there selling right now. Right now is the time to be accumulating and to accumulate all the way down to its bottom. Now, you might say, well, okay, I'll save a little bit of money. I'll wait until Bitcoin gets down to like whatever low it's going to go. That's not the actual way to do it. The way to do it is to cost average all the way down. because you don't know where the bottom's going to be. And if you buy in all the way down, every time it goes down a little bit lower, you buy a little bit more. Goes a little bit lower, you buy a little bit more. You do that all the way down until you hit the bottom. You accumulate, slowly accumulate. And then you hold it until it goes up to the peak. You'll never hit that peak to sell. You'll never be able to sell on that peak. But after it crests and starts to come back down, it falls in price, it'll go back up a little bit again, giving you a chance to sell. That's the dead cat bounce. That's when you sell. You sell on that bounce, because you'll never hit the peak. Only these rich guys that travel in rich circles, they know when to hit the peak. They can hit it. They've got robots that work for them to sell and buy. It's all done by computer and everything. And these guys, sometimes they can get close to the peak, but you're not going to be able to get close to the peak. What you'll do is wait until it hits the peak, it falls off, and then you get your little bounce. That's when you sell. Because when she rolls over the next time, she's going to fall a long way. If we go and we take a look at Bitcoin here on the Bitcoin chart, let's take a look and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. We can see if we go back to the let's try the 1 day, okay? Actually, let's go back to the 3 day. Okay, and what we're looking at here on this chart is we're looking at the rise of Bitcoin up to where it went up to its peak. Now, like I say, it's awfully hard to sell on this peak, 19,666. But you see, it fell off, right? Down to 88.15. But then what did we see? We saw the bounce. Here was the bounce right here, and it went all the way back up to about 12,000 bucks. Now, you know, right now, if you sold a Bitcoin for $12,000, you'd make a lot of profit. So what we see here, we see that bounce back up. That's when you sell. You sell on that bounce, because if you wait too long, she's going to fall all the way back down again, because it's in a bubble. Bitcoin has been in this business of making bubbles ever since its inception. It's had like 8 bubbles that it's went into. And this is like the 8th one. Of course it's going to go into another bubble again. The next bubble will probably take it up like massive amounts higher than the last one. But trying to hit that peak's awfully hard. But if she falls off, then you'll make profits. So right now is the time to accumulate. This is the accumulation phase. I'm expecting it to fall probably another $800-900 bucks, to tell you the truth, before this is over. That's what I'm expecting. I'm going to give it a probability of about 70% of falling down there, and about 30% of not doing it, what I'm expecting to do. So anyway, this has been your market report on this Bitcoins this morning, and we're looking at 37.75 right now while I'm speaking. She's come down to this level, and evidently she's got support at this level around 37.74, and it might stay here for a little while, but I almost tend to think it's setting up to roll back down again to around the 2,900 range. Until this little period right now that's over, that the world central banks are in a tightening schedule, Bitcoin's feeling the effects of that loss of liquidity in the system. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show, guys. Bye-bye.